Hi, boys and girls. I hope you're having an awesome day. It's our last day together, but I'm so excited and I'm so proud of all the work that you've done. We have really accomplished a lot, and you should be very proud of yourself. I'm going to give you a special hand clap today. This one is called the truck driver. Ink, ink, ink. Good job, good buddy. So I'm so proud of you. Today we're going to read a book called Paco and the Giant Chili. And it's probably pronounced Chile in Spanish, but I'm not 100% sure, but we certainly can find out. All right, guys, have a great day. And I'm so excited to read this book with you. And afterwards, we're going to retell it using the triangle, square, circle map that we've been using this week. All right, so let's go ahead and start reading. I just need to present my screen to you, so hold on. Okay. All right, Paco and the Giant Chili Plant. Oops, I keep turning pages, so hold on a second. I just want to make it bigger. I think that's as big as I can make it. All right. Paco called his mother. We have no food. We have no money. Our money is gone. Take the cow to town and sell it. But Mama, said Paco, the cow is all we have. We will have nothing without the cow. We have no choice, my dear, said his mother. Now hurry. Paco led the cow down the dusty road. At a dip in the dusty road, Paco met an old man with bright eyes. The man's eyes twinkled like stars. He held a walking staff and a small bag. The old man said, Good afternoon, boy. This is a fine cow you have. Good afternoon, replied Paco. Yes, it is a fine cow, but I must sell her. My mama and I have no money. My boy, said the old man, his eyes smiling, I'll give you that. If you give me that cow, I will give you this bag. What's in that bag? Asked Paco. Chili seeds, said the old man, maple chili seeds. If you plant them, you'll see something even better than money. Let me have them, said Paco. The old man handed Paco the bag, and Paco gave him the cow's leash. Dreaming of riches, Paco scurried home. That just means he went very quickly. In a field behind his house, he planted the chili seeds. He waited. Nothing happened. He waited longer. Nothing happened. He waited even longer. Still nothing. And then, as he was about to leave, the ground rumbled. Brrr. That's kind of the rumbling sound. The ground grumbled. Brrr. The ground rolled and shivered and shook. Then the ground cracked open. A chili plant shot into the sky. Paco shouted, Oh my! Look at it. Cracking through the ground. The ground is cracking open, and the chili plant is shooting up into the sky. It seems kind of little right now. Let's see what happens. Oh, wow. It really got big. He grabbed the giant chili plant. Up, up, up he climbed. Hand over leaf, foot over stem. He climbed beyond the rooftops. He climbed above soaring birds. He even climbed past the setting sun. Wow, he was really high up. Look how little his house is. Look at him above all the birds. Oh my goodness, Paco is really high up in the sky. Just skipped a page. Oh, no, I didn't. He's really high up in the sky. At the top of the plant, Paco found a bloom of golden chilies. And I guess the bloom is here, right? It's just a bundle of them. Paco picked a handful of golden chilies and put them into the bag. He jumped off the plant and landed in a world of clouds. In the distance, he saw a great house. So here's Paco, and in the distance, far away, he sees a great house. Paco walked toward the great house and found it empty except for a giant table, a giant chair, and a giant bed. Paco crept past the giant table, the giant chair, and the giant bed. Wow, look how little Paco looks, and look how big that chair is. Look how big the door is. Woo! Suddenly, Paco felt the thump of giant footsteps. Oh my goodness, what's going to happen? They thumped closer and closer, closer and closer. The ground jounced and lurched and quaked. Then the footsteps stopped. The front door of the great house flew open and then slammed shut. Paco ducked under the giant bed. Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of a human one. Be he thin or be he fat, for my tortilla, I'll grind him flat. Suddenly, a giant hand grabbed Paco and dragged him out from under the giant bed. Oh my goodness. Paco stared into the face of a terrible giant. The giant's eyes were darker than the heart of a cave. The giant's nose was as large as a mountain. The giant's teeth were as jagged and gnarled as trees twisted by a terrible tornado. The terrible giant bellowed, "So, little one, you think you can sneak into my house? What do you hope to find?" "I want to find something to help my mama," said Paco. "All you will find here is me," roared the terrible giant, "and I am hungry. You will make a delicious tortilla." "Wait," shouted Paco. "I have something better, a bag of golden chilies." "Golden chilies?" asked the giant. "Give them to me." The giant seized the bag. This means he took it. But the giant's grip was so strong, that the bag burst, spraying the chili juice all over his face. The giant screamed, "My eyes! Ouch! Oh no! Too spicy! Too spicy!" The giant dropped Paco in the bag of golden chilies. Two tremendous tears welled up in his eyes. They trickled down his cheek. Soon there was a flood of tears. With every tear the giant wept, he grew smaller and smaller, smaller, smaller. The more he cried, the more he shrank. Soon he was a giant no more, but a normal man. Paco's own eyes grew wide as he gazed upon him. "Papa?" The giant said, "Yes, I am your papa." "But Papa," Paco said, "how did you become a giant?" Paco's papa said, "Long ago I found a giant chile plant and climbed it. I wanted to find what I had heard in the old stories: gold coins, a magic harp, and a hen that laid golden eggs. I wanted to be rich. I wanted everything." "But did you find the treasure?" said Paco. "No," said Paco's papa. "I found only a few red chilies at the top of the giant plant. I ate one of them, and before I knew it, I ballooned into a terrible giant." "Oh my, that's awful," said Paco. "Yes," said Paco's papa, "it was terrible. When I was a giant, I didn't know who I was. I didn't even know who you were, my son. We must hurry down this chili plant while we still can. Hurry, Paco, hurry!" And Paco and his papa scurried down the chili plant. Paco's papa grabbed the axe and hacked the plant to the ground. He said, "No one can climb this plant, and no one will eat a magic red chili and become a terrible giant." "But Papa," said Paco, "since you didn't find a treasure, what will we do?" "My son," said Papa, "we have Mama, a wonderful family, a fine house to live in, and work to do. And we have giant stories to tell. That is more than enough." And they lived happily ever after. The end. Okay, so we are officially finished. Great job. All right, now it is time for us to look at how to retell this story. We're going to use the triangle, square, circle strategy that Miss Gillikin showed you last week, if you remember, and we talked a little bit about yesterday when we read The Very Hungry Teacher. So now what I'd like us to do is think about the triangle, square, and circle. We'll begin with the triangle. When you're looking at the triangle, remember we're talking about the character, the setting, and the problem. I think you've also seen this triangle upside down, and that's absolutely fine. When we think about the character or the characters, who were our main characters in the story? We know we had Paco, we had the old man, the mama, and then we had the giant who turned into, that's right, his papa. So we have Paco, the cow, the old man, the mama, and papa. Who were the main characters, though? Who are the most important characters in this story? Now, if you said Paco and the giant and papa, you were absolutely right. Nice job. Now, what was the setting? Meaning, where did the story take place? Correct. One was at Paco's house. One was out when he was walking the cow to the market to sell. And then the third was up in the sky, in the clouds. So very good. And then what was the problem? Did you say that the mama wanted Paco to sell the cow because they had no money? You would be absolutely correct. Nice job. Now, what happened in the middle of the story? That's where our square is. So what happened in the middle? First, event one, first, we know that, and I'm going to actually change that to first. First, Mama asked Paco to sell the cow because they had no money. Next, so I'm changing the word to next. Next, Paco ran into an old man who offered to trade the chiles for the cow, and Paco agreed. After that, Paco planted the chilies, and the chilies grew way up into the sky. Paco went into the house and ran into the giant. Then the giant grabbed the peppers and the juice squeezed into his eyes. After the juice squeezed into his eyes, the giant started to cry. And as he cried, the giant got smaller and smaller until he became a man. Finally, Paco realized that was his father. Paco and his father climbed down the vine and chopped it away. And at the end of the story, they realized that all they needed was each other and really good stories. So they would have really good stories to tell. And that is our circle. So I went too fast. But finally, at the end of the story, Paco and his family realized that all they needed was each other. So what I'd like you to do now, I'm going to stop presenting. And what I'd like you to do now is to go back and look at the pictures, read the story as best as you can, and you can always use those pictures to retell, starting at the beginning, the characters, the setting, and the problem, and then continuing by retelling that story to use the middle of the story and use words such as first, next, after that, then. And once you finish those words and talking about the middle, then you talk about the end of the story and how did it get solved? Or how did the problem get solved? So boys and girls, that's our lesson for today. And what I'd love for you to do is to, again, reread this story with a friend, with a toy. Go outside and read it under the sun or under the stars. Just be creative. And if you can't read all of the words, that's okay. Just worry about today retelling the story, starting with the beginning the middle, and then the end. Have a great weekend, boys and girls, and I look forward to seeing you again sometime. Thank you. Bye, friends.